Hi guys, hope you're doing well. Thanks for all the comments on my last video, with the exception to one, and I blocked him. His name was Masturbator. No, that wasn't his name. What was his name? Master Avenger. That's what his name was. Actually, I'm probably right the first time. He didn't want to subscribe to my channel because he would never subscribe to a channel where the owner has a black bike with a brown seat, or doesn't have a Honda or Suzuki. I don't really understand why he was watching my channel, to be honest with you. And I did actually say that to him. I said, obviously this isn't the channel for you. And he agreed, so I blocked him. Mr. Nice Guy. Anyway, but thanks to everyone else. There were great comments as always. Today, I want to talk about my mate. I completely forgot then what I was talking about. Yeah, a friend of mine bought a Tiger 1050, a Triumph Tiger 1050. It's on one of my previous videos. It was second-hand, 2018. I think it'd done about 17,000 miles. They gave him a 6-month warranty, serviced it, and did a PDI, a pre-delivery inspection. On his ride home, he said to me the gears feel really clunky, and that continued and continued. And when I met up with him, he showed me, and they were more than clunky. Going from first to second to third was just crazy. But it only happened when the bike was warm. When it was cold, it was fine. So he took it to his local mechanics or bike shop, and they said, he knows them there, and they said it could be the clutch. It's not right that it's only doing that when it's warm. But they also pointed out that the tyre was dangerous, and I can't quite remember what it was that was wrong with the tyre, but they said that they would never send out a used bike with a tyre like that. They said it was dangerous, or it could be potentially dangerous. So with those two things in mind, my friend went back to the main dealer and said, look, this is what's happened to my bike. And they came out, they looked it over, and they said, I'm going to get one of our mechanics to take it out for a 20-minute ride. So the mechanic came out, took it out for a ride. He was back in 10 minutes saying, there is definitely a fault. There's definitely a fault. So they took it into their little workshop, whereupon they discovered that the chain was really slack. So they tightened the chain up, and it made a huge difference. It was still clunky, probably clunkier than I would be happy with, but it was less clunky than it was prior. Now, my issue is, if you've done a PDI, a pre-delivery inspection, surely things like a slack chain and a potentially dangerous front tyre, they're the first things that you'd notice, surely. Or am I being naive? Anyway, my friend, who was a little bit pissed off by it all, understandably, said, well look, I've lost faith in the bike. I might get another one from you. I'd like to try this adventure bike that he'd seen, a 2-year-old adventure bike. And they said, yeah, but we'll only give you £500 less than you paid for your bike 3 weeks ago, even though there's a fault with it. Okay, so he said, well, I'll take the adventure bike out. He got on this bike, only to find out that the clutch lever had snapped. So he only had half a clutch lever. Mentioned this to the guy, and he said, oh, we'll just use 2 fingers, it'll be fine. Now, this bike was advertised on their website as a 2-year-old immaculate 3,000 mile example. He said they hadn't noticed that the clutch lever had snapped. Now, surely basic things like that, do they not have a list that they go through to say, yes, it's got 2 wheels, it's got a chain, you know, all the basic stuff that you'd hope that they would look at prior to selling a bike to someone. Anyway, he didn't like the adventure bike, so his decision was to keep the Tiger 1050, and they're going to contact him at some point, they haven't yet, contact him to book the bike in to have it checked over to see if it needs a new clutch and to replace the tyre. Now, I know, all right, you're supposed to give these people a chance to repair the bike and etc, etc, but after 3 weeks, surely, as good customer service, you would say, look, this is wrong, I'm so sorry, we can either give you a refund or we'll give you the full amount towards another bike, because those issues were obviously existing prior to my mate buying the bike, and they weren't picked up. Whether or not it was even PDI'd, I've always wondered, when I've part exchanged bikes with main dealers, there was one in particular that just walked around my bike and asked me to start it up, and that was it, and then they wheeled it in, and I'm sure that was it. It was in the showroom, and the next day it was up for sale. So there could have been loads of things wrong with that bike, and they didn't bother to look into it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being cynical. I don't know. But anyway, so what do you think, guys? Is that a bad experience, or is that just the norm? It seems a shame, because he purposely went to a Triumph main dealer because he thought you'd get good customer service, and you always get good customer service when you're buying a bike. The standard of customer service definitely changes once you part with your money, in my experience. Not just at Triumph, everywhere, I think. Once they've got your money, they've got you, and they don't care as much. That's my opinion. I bought a second-hand bike from a main dealer. It wasn't a Triumph main dealer, and I rode it down the road, and the oil light came on. So I turned around, took it back, and they said that the apprentice did the oil change and had forgotten to refill it. Now, surely, if he's an apprentice, he should be supervised? No, I don't know. But there was very little like, oh, so sorry. It was just, oh yeah, sorry about that. It was just he forgot to put oil in it. So maybe I'm just being cynical and, you know, getting old and all that. But tell me what you think, guys. Have you experienced any? I know some of you have experienced similar instances with main dealers. In fact, I got an email from Steve, the Norfolk Thunderbolt, who told me about one. So I'm sure there's loads out there, and I'm not trying to say that all main dealers are bad and all of that, but I just would like to expect a higher level of customer service once you bought your bike. They're all over you when you're thinking of buying a bike, and they will phone you every day, and they phone me every day when I've been looked into buying a new bike. They will be on you and on you and on you. The minute you've got that bike and you've got a problem with it, the phone calls don't come. That's my experience. Tell me what you think, guys. I've got something to show you, but I'll show you on the next video. And Masturbator, whatever his name is, I can't remember what his name was, Master Venger. You're going to wish you'd stayed on my channel, mate, because now I have a black seat on a black bike. Have a good day, guys. Ride safe.